Coming up, new mascot, new logo. The Raptor has landed at MC, and we'll have highlights from its introduction to the college community. MC men's soccer enjoyed a historic season, but could they also take their second straight Maryland JUCO regional and district titles and make it back to nationals? We'll find out as head coach Pedro Braz joins us to recap the season. The volleyball team improved with each match, but still entered the regionals, the lowest seed in the field. Could this team pull a Cinderella and wear the glass slipper? We'll let you know, and we'll also welcome in head coach Amir Mafinajad for a look back at a most improbable season. And then we'll wrap up a terrific season turned in by women's soccer as they overcame early injuries to advance to the regional finals. Head coach Brad Hartin will join us to wrap up the season. All this and more on the latest edition of the Raptor Report, starting now. Hello everyone and welcome to the Raptor Report. I'm Michael Brown. We just finished one of the most dramatic and exciting fall sports seasons in the history of Montgomery College. Both men's soccer and women's volleyball won the district championship and went to nationals. And women's soccer made it to the district championship game. It was a season to remember, and we'll have highlights later in the show. As you'll recall, just over a year ago, the college announced that all three campuses would be unified under one set of colors, one mascot, one logo. From that point on, there was no more competition between campuses. Everybody would be playing and rooting for Montgomery College teams. The new one college approach meant new colors, a new mascot, and a new logo. The new colors, purple, silver, black, and white, were announced first. Then a contest was held to pick a new nickname, and the Raptor was the winner. But what does a Raptor look like? Well, a design competition was held, and dozens of entries were submitted by students, faculty, staff, and alumni. Ultimately, a design by MC student Felipe Calazo was chosen. We'll hear from Felipe later in the show. But first, we'll get started with November 19th, a day that will go down as one of the most significant in the history of the college, a day that had been in the making for over a year. On that day, MC revealed its brand new mascot, the Raptor, and the new athletics logo. What a day it was. The college put on quite a celebration, hosting a tailgate party on the Rockville campus, with free food, prizes, and music from Hot 99.5. At 4:30, just before a men's and women's basketball doubleheader, hundreds of students, faculty, and staff crowded into the main gym for the big moment. After a performance by the Raptor cheerleaders and a tribute to MC's rich athletics history, it was time for the first reveal, when the curtain was pulled down to unveil the new athletics logo. And there was no doubt the crowd loved it. I was joined by MC President Dr. Darian Pollard, and we introduced every MC athletic team, all of them sporting the new MC Raptor gear. Then the big moment finally arrived, the moment everyone had been waiting for, the reveal of the new Montgomery College mascot, the Raptor. With smoke, lights, music, and an unbelievable roar of approval from the packed gym, the Raptor made a dramatic entrance and the place went nuts. He was mobbed by the MC athletes, performed with the cheerleaders, and absolutely owned the spotlight. It was one of the most exciting moments I've ever experienced in my career at MC. It was a moment worth waiting for. The night was perfectly topped off with some great basketball as both MC teams came through with a victory in a doubleheader sweep of Nova. What a night. And later in the show, we'll talk with MC's athletic director, Derek Carter, about the new mascot and logo and what they mean to the athletic program here at MC. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be talking men's soccer when we return. You're watching the Raptor Report.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, flexible scheduling, Over 130 programs of study. Award-winning faculty. Nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Register today.
Raptor comes from a Latin word that refers to a thief, a plunderer, or a seizer. So something that seizes something else. And so that's why birds of prey are called generally raptors, because of that hunting, carnivorous nature.
Rudy Meredith, an MC sports legend. A member of the men's soccer team, Rudy Meredith set the season scoring record with 25 goals during the 1986 season and was named to the NJCAA All-American team as an honorable mention. In 1988, while leading MC to nationals, he set the MC career goal record with 49. Rudy transferred to Southern Connecticut State University and led the team to the NCAA Division II National Championship in 1990. Rudy became assistant coach of Yale University's women's soccer team in 1992 and was named head coach in 1995. He just completed his 19th season as Yale's head coach, and he is the winningest coach in Bulldog history. He is a three-time Northeast Region Coach of the Year and has guided the Bulldogs to the NCAA College Cup in 2002, 2004, and 2005. In 2006, Rudy was inducted into the Montgomery College Athletics Hall of Fame. Welcome back to the Raptor Report. This year's men's soccer team had a tough act to follow. Last year, they won the Maryland JUCO title for the first time in school history, took the Region 20 and District F crowns, and came within one goal of winning the national championship. Head coach Pedro Braz also had to deal with a lot of turnover in personnel due to transfers and graduations. When I talked to him at tryouts this summer, he was apprehensive. But as it turned out, all that worry was for naught. Despite playing arguably the toughest schedule of any Division III team in the nation, they got off to a strong start and never looked back. And the voters immediately took notice as they became a fixture in the NJCAA national rankings, quickly ascending to the number 2 spot in the country. It was obvious from game one that they'd added some serious offensive firepower in the offseason as they rang up a string of eye-popping victories, beating Tidewater 7-0, 8-0 over Anne Arundel, and a 5-0 win against Frederick. Last year's team had a handful of offensive threats, but this year's team had a multitude. Gabriel Nadai, Javier Nieto, Giovanni Villatoro, Mike Buscemi, Mohamed Ulari, Caio Fonseca, and Ian Oko. Each and every one a scoring threat. Coach Braz teamed his dynamic offense with a stifling defense. The back line was a source of pride for Braz, a former defender himself. The only blip on their resume was a 3-2 loss on the road to third-ranked Bunker Hill, and MC was down 6 starters that day due to injuries. But that loss did nothing to slow their momentum, as they rebounded with jaw-dropping wins, a resounding 10-0 victory over Chesapeake, and an 11-0 win over Cecil. Following their lone loss, the Raptors reeled off 11 straight wins to claim a second straight Maryland JUCO championship before heading into the Region 20 District F tournament. In round one, they took on rival Howard, and starting with Nick Castro's goal in the 24th minute, they dominated the Dragons, scoring 3 more in the first half to take a commanding 4-0 lead at the break. And it was more of the same in the second, as they added 3 more, including the goal of the day from Giovanni Villatoro to roll to a convincing 7-1 win. In the finals, they took on a physical Potomac State. Their defense held the Raptors scoreless until the 36th minute, when Gabe Nadai broke through. Villatoro soon followed, and MC was up 2-0 at the half. The second half was vintage Raptors as goals by Ian Oko, Villatoro again, Javier Nieto, and Caio Fonseca iced their second straight Region 20 District F crown.
It feels great, man. It's unbelievable. You know, I feel honored to have to repeat and have the same feeling again, and it's incredible. You know, it happens once in a lifetime, and unfortunately, I was able to have it twice.
It feels amazing. Everyone's celebrating. We keep saying it's 2 times in a row, and we think we deserve it. We had some injuries, we had some setbacks, but in the end, we came back, we fought for it, and we won.
The Regional District Championship was a perfect microcosm of the Raptors season. 2 games, 13 goals scored, while allowing just 2. The win sent the Raptors back to the National Championship Tournament in upstate New York. In round 1, they drew Century College from Minnesota. Century, wary of the Raptors' scoring ability, overloaded their defensive side. The strategy worked until 7 minutes remained in the first half when Hector Navarrete broke the scoreless tie. In the second half, Century, desperate to score, abandoned the first half strategy, and this opened up space for the Raptors. They responded with goals by Nadai, Muhammad Olari, and Oko to net a 4-0 win. Despite the offensive fireworks, it was the defense that did the heavy lifting, holding Century scoreless and allowing just 10 shots on goal.
Feels great. Every game we come out here, we want to keep a shutout, obviously. We did our jobs today, kept a shutout, and this next game is the same thing.
It's very exciting. You know, we came out here, we knew what we had to do to win. You know, we had to work hard. This team wasn't going to roll over for us. So it's a great win to win 4-0.
The first round win set up a showdown in the semifinals with Suffolk, a very physical and highly skilled team. The teams battled to a scoreless first half tie, but after the break, Sebastian Soto broke through off an assist from Nick Castro. But minutes later, Suffolk tied it and then almost immediately took a 2-1 lead. The Raptors answered a minute later when Olari scored off yet another Castro assist. But 10 minutes later, Suffolk took back the lead, and despite a furious Raptor effort, they clung to it till the bitter end. The crushing 3-2 loss dashed the Raptors' dreams of a national title. But let's take a step back from the emotion of that loss and take a look at what this team accomplished this season. They finished 22-2, setting a school record for wins. They won their second straight Maryland JUCO, Region 20, and District F titles. They finished 4th in the nation. They not only led the nation in scoring with 143 goals, but that mark broke the all-time NJCAA record. They finished 3rd in the country with a .866 goals against average and 3rd in goals allowed. Individually, they had 6 players in the top 30 in the nation in scoring. Gabriel Nadai was the leading scorer in the country with 35. Nieto was 4th with 25. Villatoro 9th with 17. Mike Buscemi 24th with 11. And Ian Oko and Muhammad Olari tied for 27th with 10. For Olari, that's pretty amazing considering he missed almost 2 months of the season with a broken arm. The Raptors also placed 6 players in the top 25 nationally in assists, led by Nick Castro, who was 3rd with 20. And the individual honors also rolled in. Gabriel Nadai made first-team All-American and Nick Castro second team. Castro, Nadai, and Javier Nieto all made first-team All-Maryland JUCO and Sergio Navarrete second team. Muhammad Olari and Hector Navarrete made the All-National Tournament first team, and Nadai, Castro, Nieto, and Sergio Navarrete were named to the All-Region 20 first team, while Caio Fonseca and Andre Anderson made second team. So when you step back and take it all in, all those awards and honors and records, it's pretty incredible how much this team accomplished. They're a great bunch of guys and a credit to MC. And we're going to have to take a short break right now, but when we return, we'll be joined in studio by Pedro Braz, head coach of the Raptors men's soccer team. You're watching the Raptor Report.
One word to describe Montgomery College: awesome.
Interesting.
Fun.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Inspirational.
Spectacular. Family.
Nice.
Diverse.
Excellent.
Surprising.
Perfect.
Opportunity.
Fun.
Great.
Exhausting.
Inspiring.
Flexible.
Excellent.
Awesome.
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 No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, flexible scheduling, over 130 programs of study, award-winning faculty, nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Register today.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report, and now it's my pleasure to welcome in Pedro Braz, the head coach of MC Men's Soccer. Pedro, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a remarkable season.
Oh, thank you for having me. The season was a run, just because kind of similar to like last year, to where we the difference between last year and this year was we wasn't a surprise. Last year was more a surprise. It was my first year as a head coach, and then we made it to the national championship. And this year we started as number 2 in the country, so it wasn't a surprise, and we had a target on our backs the whole year. So it was a good year. It was a good year.
Well, you responded well to that target, I'll tell you. Now I know you guys are disappointed that you came so close, so near, but yet so far from your ultimate goal. But my gosh, now that you've had a little bit of time to step back and take a look, I mean, what an outstanding year. I mean, you guys accomplished so much. It's mind-boggling, really.
No, it was stats-wise, it was a year to remember. Like as you mentioned, all the stats, the goals, which was a nationwide record, the assists, going undefeated in the conference, and 22 wins, where it's the most in school history. Again, the stats-wise was a heck of a year, and you can't take that away from these student athletes. They will forever be in the books, and they will forever be labeled as one of the best teams that ever done it through Montgomery College.
Boy, that is for sure. And you know, there's got to be so many memories from a year like this, so many high points, winning the regionals for the second straight year, the Maryland JUCO. But as you kind of look back on things, what are some of the what do you think are some of the memories that you're going to take away from this season?
This year was a no-lose type attitude compared to last year. Was more surprise. How good are we going to do? How are we going to match up with teams? This year, I appreciate the effort from the sophomores, to where they had a little chip on their shoulder, to where they couldn't lose. And we only had one loss throughout the whole year. And it was away, and we drove 8 hours, and we played against Bunker Hill in Boston.
And you were missing 6 starters with injuries.
And we was missing 6 starters with injuries. And then again, we were down 6-7 games throughout the year by more than 2 goals, and came back and won. And we had a couple overtime games against some conference teams where it was battles, it was rivals, but we ended up being on top. So that's the thing I kind of remember. It's just the effort, the will to win, the we can't lose mentality that these sophomores and then the freshmen kind of took that upon them as well. That's the thing I will not forget, especially these sophomore guys that put 2 years in, that dealt with me for 2 years. I'm not the easiest camper to deal with. So, but again, they were here. They put in their time, the effort, and that I can only salute and appreciate.
Well, and you did it 22-2 against what a lot of people I think would say was probably the toughest schedule of any Division III team in the country.
And I agree. Looking throughout the top 4 teams in the nation. We played 8 more games than the closest team to us. We traveled all over. We went to North Carolina and played the number 2 team, Division I junior college, Lewisburg, and tied them. We played ASA, which is a New York team, which they were top 5 for Division I as well, and beat them. We went to New Jersey, New York. We played in Boston. We went to the Nationals. So it was very a schedule where we, compared to last year, was very locally. This year was very everywhere. It was up north. It was a little southern, but it was quality teams, ranked teams. And then we played Pod State, which is out in West Virginia, which they were ranked top 10 for Division III, and we ended up beating them there at their house, and also beating them at the region final. So the schedule was tough. It was hard, but that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to not be a surprise when we go to nationals. So when we playing against the top teams, it's not like, whoa, we never seen these teams ever again, ever this whole year. So we played the best. To be quite honest with you, to be the best, you got to beat them and play against them. So that's the challenge that we try to implement here with this schedule and going forward. And same thing with the schedule next year. So.
Well, you know, I've had the great fortune to be able to go with you guys up to nationals, and man, that's some tough competition up there.
No, it is. That's the tip top teams, which is eight teams that go, and those are the best 8 teams that we have in this nation. You will go from teams that've been there numerous times, like the Herkimers, like the Suffolk, like the Richlands, and Richlands was 5-time national champions. Herkimers, 10 plus national championships. Suffolk won in 2006, and we're a team that now we're getting nationally recognized. Before we were competing for region championships and just in semifinals for regions and the finals for regions, but not really getting to nationals. And now the past 2 years we have. So now we are getting to that level to where people have to recognize us, and people have to also respect us to where they're playing Montgomery College. So yeah, it was a tough tournament with tough teams, and I thought we did well.
Well, there's no question that MC men's soccer is now part of the national conversation when it comes to soccer. No question about it. Real quickly, you're going to lose quite a few guys from this year's team, but again, you're bringing back some strong players. So, what are your plans for the offseason and the upcoming year?
Okay, so in the off season, we're going to come back into the spring, have a spring season. We're going to start late February, and we'll play about 4 games. A lot of Division I schools, like George Washington's and the UMBCs, where we were going out and playing against these teams to keep the kids, fit and still playing, but also seeing the competition at that highest level for college soccer. So we have some local Division I teams that are happy to have us, and which is grateful for us to go there and play against them. So we'll have that, which lasts us about 2.5 months, and then we're off until preseason in August. So, but in between that whole time there, it's recruiting. So we have 14 sophomores, and they're obviously all leaving. So that's half of our team, and we have about 8 of them leaving this semester, transferring to a 4-year school. So it's like every year at a junior college. It's just regroup and recruit, and then try to get the best 32 guys on your roster to compete for the next year.
Well, I have no doubt you'll have a lot of success when it comes to that. I mean, the kind of success you've had on the field is going to translate to that. So
hopefully, Mike. Thank you.
Well, again, Pedro, thanks so much for coming in, and congratulations again on really an awesome season. There's no other way to describe it. It was
Appreciate
fantastic.
That. Thank you so much for the support.
And stick with us, because after this quick break, we're going to take a look at one of the most exciting volleyball seasons in the history of Montgomery College. You're watching the Raptor.
Categories of birds that are considered raptors would be the eagles, falcons, and hawks. More specific examples would be the peregrine falcon, which literally catches songbirds in midair and then carries them to cliff sites in order to feed on them. You have bald eagle, of course, which is known for harassing other birds of prey and stealing their catch, sometimes in midair. You get the golden eagle, which is common out west, becoming more common as all of these birds of prey are making a comeback in the United States as we move farther and farther away from the use of DDT that was really hurting these populations. So we're seeing huge comebacks in many of the birds of prey in our area.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report. The MC volleyball team got off to an inauspicious start this season. After 12 matches, they were struggling at 4-8. But in reality, this wasn't a total surprise because they'd lost a lot of talent from last year's squad, including Dijana Cobbs, a first-team All-Maryland JUCO star as a sophomore last year. Head coach Amir Mafinajad told me early on that he knew it was going to be a challenging year, especially when one of his top returners, outside hitter Emily Scott, hurt her shoulder in preseason and had to move to libero because she wasn't able to hit without severe pain. In addition, they had a very thin front line, and outside of middle hitter Yesenia Mora, they were not tall across the front. But then all of a sudden, the picture began to brighten. Scott's shoulder improved and she went back to outside hitter, allowing Mafinajad to insert Christy Mempin at libero. And Mora got frontline help from Capria Redparth. Redparth, who you may remember as a basketball and track star last year, was inexperienced at volleyball and joined the team late. But the more she played, the better she got, and she developed into a strong complement to Mora. The more matches the Raptors played, the better they got to know each other, and the team just started to mesh. All of a sudden, the pinpoint sets of ace setter Andrea Falcon were being converted into points, as first-year players like Hiromi Konishi and Maya Gillette started making significant contributions. Beginning with a big road sweep of Baltimore City, followed by another sweep of Garrett, the Raptors won 9 of their next 13, heading into the 2-day Region 20 District G tournament. Despite their improvement, the Raptors were the lowest seed and drew Lorraine, the top seed and number 9 team in the nation in the first round. The Raptors gave the nationally ranked Commodores all they wanted before falling in 5 tight sets. But this dropped the Raptors into the losers bracket, meaning one more loss and it was all over. However, the Raptors stayed alive when they pulled off an upset in their second match of the day, knocking off longtime rival Howard in 4 sets. Then in the third match of the day, they rode the momentum of the Howard upset to sweep Butler in 3. That sent the Raptors to the championship round the next day against powerful Lorraine. Because MC had already lost once and Lorraine was undefeated, the Raptors were faced with a seemingly impossible task. They would have to beat the Commodores in back-to-back matches to take the title. Sunday's first match was the best I'd seen the Raptors play all season as they swept Lorraine in 3 sets. That set up the do-or-die final match. The 2 exhausted teams put on one of the greatest displays of effort, heart, and ability I've ever witnessed. The players dove and dug all over the court, and the crowd was roaring with each point. Lorraine took the first set, but MC bounced back in the second. But when Lorraine thoroughly dominated the third set, it looked as if they'd roll from there. But MC showed remarkable resilience and toughness and pulled out a closely fought 4th set. Just 1 set to go, and whoever took it would take the title and punch a ticket to nationals. The Raptors took an early lead and never relinquished it as they took the set by 5, and with it, the Region 20 District G title and a trip to the national championships.
It feels awesome. I'm very proud of my team. They did awesome. I couldn't even want it anymore, and I think everyone did their part, which is why we're going to nationals.
Andrea Falcon, Emily Scott, and Hiromi Konishi were all named to the all-region first team. And Konishi, just a freshman, was named the tournament MVP.
I never thought that I would be picked for it, but, I guess I played well this weekend, and so I'm ecstatic.
The upset win sent the Raptors to the national championships in Minnesota, where they took on the toughest competition in the nation. In round one, it was Ridgewater, the #3 team in the country. The Raptors played hard, but in the end, they were overmatched, falling in 3 straight sets. In the second round, they faced Northampton, another top 10 team with just 1 loss all season. Again, the Raptors played well, but again came up short, this time in 4 closely contested sets. On the final day, the Raptors drew Fashion Institute of Technology, their 3rd top 10 team in 3 matches. The Raptors played their best games of the tournament, showing flashes of the brilliance they showed in the district tournament. However, it wasn't enough as they fell to FIT 3-1 and finished 8th in the tournament. Now, the national results don't diminish for 1 second the inspiring season this team put together. I'm telling you folks, what I saw this team do when they won the regional district tournament was truly inspirational. These women played with passion, unbelievable resolve, and energy. 20 grueling sets over 2 days to pull off an upset no one thought would happen. This is a team to celebrate and be proud of. They're the embodiment of what MC Athletics is all about. And their outstanding play was justly rewarded. As I said earlier, Andrea Falcon, Emily Scott, and Hiromi Konishi made the all-region first team. Konishi was the regional MVP. And Falcon was also named 2nd team All-Maryland JUCO, and Konishi honorable mention. But in my mind, every member of this team deserves an award. They're something else indeed. And keep in mind, this team finished 8th in the nation and showed the NJCAA that MC is an up-and-comer in volleyball, to be sure. Now stick with us, because after this quick break, we'll be joined by MC Volleyball head coach Amir Mafinajad. You're watching the Raptor Report.
It's a bird of prey.
Why a bird?
A raptor is a bird of prey. So that's going to be a bird that is a carnivore that hunts other animals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Some general characteristics of raptors are very sharp hooked beaks in order to tear and eat the meat of their prey, and also very sharp, very strong talons to allow them to capture their prey.
Okay, well, I think that's fierce then. I think that's good.
It's definitely a little bit intimidating, and I feel like we want to intimidate our opponents. And I think it definitely shows a little bit of the spirit of Montgomery College. Because birds of prey are like sort of at the top of the food chain for birds. And hey, I feel like Montgomery College is at the top of the food chain.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report, and I am pleased to welcome in Amir Mafinajad, the head coach of the Raptors volleyball team. It's great to see you, and congratulations on an outstanding season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's start by looking back at this season. You guys started slowly, but then all of a sudden things turned around. You won 9 of your last 13 heading into the postseason. What went into that turnaround?
The turnarounds, I think some of it had to do with the injuries that we had to a couple of key players. And that slowed us down in terms of what we were trying to accomplish and the rotation that we had in mind from what we had seen in the month of August. So we knew that what we could have potentially once the injuries get healed and the players get back to the normal position. And it helped us solidify our players playing a different position and getting that valuable experience. And once we got into the groove and getting back everybody comfortable with their position, that gave us the opportunity to re-emphasize and work on those little individual skills to make the players succeed in the position that we thought was best for them, to put them in a position to be successful toward the stretch run. And our communication from the coaches to the players was, gotta work hard every day and just stick with it. And we're gonna have some bumps up and down. And our goal, our journey is the Regions tournament, and we gotta get better for that. And we gotta work every day to get better and see where we go. So that had something to do with it, and getting a couple of players added to the team a little bit late in the season, and for them to get their feel for the game. And we had one of the players, Capria, who hadn't played volleyball, so it took her a while, at least half of the season, for a whole 1 month to get into learning the positions of the volleyball, let her learn hitting and blocking and some of the things that she had to do, setting the ball, and so we had different players that we moved around. So slowly came together, and I think it worked out, well at the end of the season.
Well, it sure did. Now, let's talk about that regional district tournament. You guys lost the first match to the 9th team in the country, Lorraine, 9th ranked team in the country. What did you tell your team after that first loss, which put you into the losers bracket, and what was their mindset?
Right. The mindset, they were excited, and they saw also what they could do. After losing the first two, I think getting the jitters out a little bit, and we had practice leading up to the Regions tournament, and the different setup that we had, and I guess they got a little bit comfortable, they settled down a little bit, and they played well. And my message to them was, this is the way you need to play, and you can do it. It's just a matter of having the focus and intensity every single point. And I think they recognized that they can do it, and that was good. Even though we in the 5th set we were ahead, and they came back, and that was kind of disappointing. But it made that to be a little bit more exciting weekend. That way, to come out from the losers bracket and to finish the way we did was great. And we played the same way we played in the last 3 sets against Lorraine the rest of the tournament. So that was really exciting.
Well, that last day when you took both matches 2 straight from Lorraine, that's one of the most exciting sporting events I've ever been a part of, ever seen.
Yeah. I have to say I had a few, I didn't have a good night of sleep the night before, Friday night and Saturday night. I was just going through different things that we had talked about leading up to the Regions tournament, and come out on Sunday, take the first match in 3 straight sets was kind of a head scratcher, and we expected it because we played very well, and I was just super excited and just was conscious as far as what's going to happen. And Lorraine made some adjustments. They came back, took the first set in the next match, and I think we responded pretty well, and we had an incredible finish, one to remember.
Very incredible. We only have about a minute left. Quickly now, next year, what are your plans? I know you're going to have some holes to fill. What are your off-season plans? And as you look ahead to next year, you guys are going to be nationally ranked going into the season.
That is true. We have, as we do every year, we go recruit as many different positions as possible, because we don't know what's going to happen from year one. We're expecting 6 players, and I know right now we're probably around 3 or 4 returning players that are confirmed that are coming back. But again, things could change. One of the key positions that we always talk about, and I alluded to Dan, was the setter position. And Andrea has done a great job in the last 2 seasons for us. And that's one of the most important positions, in my opinion, to solidify and get a good player to come in. So that's our #1 priority, and get a little bit more height.
Well, you got your work cut out for you, but I know you'll get the job done. You've got a great program here. And again, we want to thank you for coming in, and congratulations once again on one of the most exciting seasons of any MC team ever, in my opinion.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having us, for all the support.
And stick with us, because after this quick break, we'll be right back to recap the women's soccer season. You're watching the Raptor Report.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, over 130 programs of study. Nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. Register today.
Some birds of prey specialize in fish, so they would eat almost all fish in their diet. And some of those raptors have special pads on their feet where they actually have hooked barbs that allow them to have a much better grip when they are diving and grabbing for those fish. And then they have additional adaptations that allow their feet and toes to orient in such a way that they can carry the fish head first while they're flying back to where they're going to feed on the fish to minimize the wind resistance.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report. Turning now to women's soccer, the Raptors season, quite frankly, did not get off to a good start. Their early 1-4 record hurt even more after season-ending injuries to their top defender, Tracy Velasquez, who had made All-Maryland JUCO as a freshman, and steady midfielder Emily Muhlenholtz. The injuries, along with problems on the offense, they were having trouble finding the back of the net, forced head coach Brad Hartin to move players around in hopes of finding a winning combination. Hartin's machinations began to pay off on September 19th when they knocked off D2 Frederick 3-1. That started a nice run for the Raptors as they took 10 of their next 14. All of a sudden, the offense began to click, led by forward Tamara Castillo, who Hartin had moved from defender to forward. Teaming Castillo with forwards Rachel Anderson and Jewel Johnson and freshman midfielder Anna Corden got the offense humming. And the defense, anchored by keeper Ashley Latter, began to shut down teams, at one point registering 5 shutouts in 6 matches. So, heading into the Region 20 District H tournament, the Raptors were playing their best soccer of the season, and they kept it going with an opening round win over Potomac State as Castillo and Samantha Comer netted goals for the 2-0 win. The momentum continued into the semis when Rachel Anderson, Castillo, and Jewel Johnson each scored to answer Oxford College's early lead. The 3-1 win over Oxford set up a meeting in the finals against bitter rival Howard, who had knocked off the Raptors 2-1 earlier in the season. This turned into a very physical match, with Howard scoring the lone goal in the first half. MC had a couple of good opportunities in the second half, but in the end, they fell 1 goal short of taking the title and heading to nationals. The bitter defeat stung, but this team had come a long way this season and made a strong impact on Maryland JUCO and the region. Tamara Castillo was named first team All-Maryland JUCO. Anna Corden and defender Caitlin Snyder were both named to the second team. Castillo, Corden, and Snyder made first team All-Region, while Anderson, Samantha Comer, and Emma Recchia were named to the second team. Tamara Castillo finished third in Maryland JUCO in goals with 18, while Rachel Anderson finished 8th and Anna Corden 19th. Castillo was also third in Maryland JUCO in assists, and Corden was 7th. And steady goalkeeper Ashley Latter was 4th in Maryland JUCO in saves. Castillo also finished 12th in the nation in scoring. Not bad for a player who started the year on defense. So all in all, a more than solid year, and with Corden, Snyder, Johnson, Recchia, and several others returning, there's a nice nucleus for next season. And stay right where you are, because up next, women's soccer head coach Brad Hartin will join us in studio. You're watching the Raptor Report.
Some general characteristics of raptors are very sharp hooked beaks in order to tear and eat the meat of their prey, and also very sharp, very strong talons to allow them to capture their prey.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report, and it's my pleasure to welcome in Brad Hartin, the head coach of the MC women's soccer team. Brad, thanks for joining me, and congratulations on a terrific season.
Thank you, Michael, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Brad, you know, earlier in our story about the season, we talked about how the team got off to a slow start. It was a bit of a struggle, and then you made some changes which really seemed to turn things around. Talk to us about some of the moves that you made to right the ship.
We had some early season injuries that really affected our program. Particularly, Tracy Velasquez went out early in the season on an injury when we were up in New York State. And we had to, at that point I determined we had to make some moves personnel-wise to get the proper fit and to make an arrangement so that we'd be better off. The main movement that we made was trading out Tamara Castillo out of the back and putting her up top. and then sliding Caitlin Snyder from the midfield back into the center of the defense, as well as moving Dakota Dyson over from an outside back into the center. And all those things kind of came together, and we also changed the shape of how we played as well. And all those things resulted in a better form of play moving on after that.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, things really turned around, and going into the regional tournament, you had won, I believe it was 10 out of 14 going into the regional tournament. 5 out of 6 of those wins were shutouts. You got great play from your defense as well.
We did, and again, it had a good deal, I believe it had a good deal to do with some of the movement we had as well as the shape that we played, but it also came down to the fact that we did have a decent amount of additional players that came in from last year, new players that came in from last year as well, and just to have that time of cohesion and get together and play proper, I think really helped us towards the end of our season and playing at a higher level.
All right, now, you know, you guys strived so hard this year. It seemed like every match you improved once you made those moves, and you came 1 goal short of going to nationals, but it's a terrific season. So, you know, thinking back now, looking back, what are some of the highlights for you from the year, if you had to pick 1 or 2 really outstanding moments?
I think one of the highlights for us, and a lot of them come towards the end of the season for varying reasons, but going out to Potomac State and beating them pretty convincingly in their home space was a huge highlight for us. It had a lot to do with last year's program and the year before that. It just last year we lost to Potomac State in the regionals, and it left a bad taste in our mouth. And being able to go back out there against them and really put in a convincing win was very rewarding. And honestly, even though we didn't make nationals like I think we deserved to, I think the program we had this year was absolutely capable of making it to nationals and doing some good work there. Making it to the regional final was a big accomplishment for this team this year, and showing that we belong in that strata and being able to play at that level was important, and it was a good reward for what the work that they had put in.
Well, and you've got a nice nucleus coming back for next year. You've got a number of key players, Anna Corden being one, Jewel Johnson coming back, Emma Recchia, so looks like things are going to be healthy next year.
It is very promising to see the talent that is coming back. We put in some hard work to get those players here last year, and it's going to continue on. It already has started this winter to get some additional players in. We are going to greatly miss those that are leaving, but at the same time, the talent that's staying and sticking around and doing the right things, both in the classroom and out, are very encouraging for next season.
Well, Brad, again, congratulations on a terrific season, and thanks so much for joining us today on the Raptor Report. And don't go anywhere, because coming up, we've got a special MC Sports Trivia section, and then we're going to talk a little more about MC's new mascot, the Raptor. You're watching the Raptor Report.
One word to describe Montgomery College: awesome.
Interesting.
Fun.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Inspirational.
Spectacular.
Family.
Nice.
Diverse.
Excelling.
Surprising. Perfect.
Opportunity.
Fun.
Great.
Exhausting.
Inspiring.
Flexible.
Excellent.
Awesome.
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 Welcome back to the Raptor Report. Next up is our Did You Know segment, where we take a look back at the rich history of MC sports. And with all the recent changes, it seems a good time to take a look back at how it all started. Did you know that MC's athletics program dates back to the 1940s? The literal father of athletics at Montgomery College was MC Hall of Famer Frank Rubini. Soon after MC first opened its doors in 1946, Rubini organized the MC Athletics Department. He coached all sports while teaching physical education classes. His basketball teams never had a losing season, and his football teams were powerhouses, going undefeated in 1953 and 1954. On Thanksgiving Day 1954, his football team won their first bowl game at Murfreesboro, North Carolina, beating Chowan College 12-0. During his tenure, 15 MC players were selected to the National Junior College All-American teams, and many of his former students went on to coach football in Montgomery and Prince George's County high schools. Frank Rubini, a member of the MC Athletics Hall of Fame and the founding father of the MC Athletics program. And now let's switch gears back to 2013 and the recent reveal of MC's new mascot and logo. It was a long and thoughtful process, and one of the people intimately involved was MC's athletic director, Derek Carter. Derek recently sat down with me to talk about the process and the results.
Well, the process was pretty detailed and long and thoughtful. When you're trying to decide the look of your mascot, there are so many ingredients involved. So there were many meetings, and there were many times when we had discussions going back and forth on what's the right design, what's wrong, and just a lot of thoughtful discussion that led to the final product that we're very happy with. Your mascot is your identity. It gives you a sense of pride, a sense of purpose, if you will. And what it does is it unifies the team. They believe in themselves as the Raptors. Again, the identity, the college, the community, everybody can embrace this one. And as we're on our mission to continuously develop ourselves as one college, this is just another avenue that we can utilize to bring everyone together and to understand that we are one college. And it's just so symbolic of the direction that we're trying to go, as we're all in one, and using the Raptor as that piece really assists with that effort. I love it. I love it. And the thing that's so great about it is all of the comments that I've received have been positive. Usually when you roll something out, there is one or two people who are going to say, you know what, should have done this or you should have done that. But collectively as a group, I've heard everyone is pleased, and I know I'm pleased. And I think it serves across the board. The athletes like it, the faculty, staff like it, but probably most importantly, I think youngsters, the young people who, you know, we're trying to branch out to the community and get community involved with our athletic events now. And a lot of kids will see the mascot and it will be perceived as a friendly mascot. I just think this is a great time at Montgomery College. The Raptors have been rolled out. Our athletic teams are doing very well in their sports. We're constantly pushing strong efforts in the classrooms and allowing our athletes, our student athletes, to develop themselves and succeed into the next step, the next phase of life.
My thanks to Derek Carter, MC's athletic director, for taking time out to talk with us. And as we said at the top of the show, after the Raptor was chosen as the new mascot, a design competition was held to create the look of the mascot and logo. The winning design belonged to an MC student, Felipe Colazo. Let's meet the winner right now.
I'm Felipe Colazo. I'm a graphic design student. I've been at MC for 2 years, and now I've transferred to MICA. So I was born in Uruguay, and I've been moving around a lot around the world. Well, I moved to DC about 2 years ago, and I started looking up colleges because I didn't know anything around here. And I think Montgomery College had one of the best graphic design programs and facilities. My graphic design class, Valerie Burkhart, gave it out as an optional assignment, and I thought it'd be an awesome opportunity to. I've always wanted to do a sports-styled illustration, so it was a great opportunity to do that. I weighed the pros and cons of every velociraptors against every type of bird of prey. I discarded the velociraptor because there was already a Raptors basketball team. I weighed the pros and cons of every bird, and I kind of put all the pros together and started sketching from that, trying to get all the positive things into one focused idea, I guess. I guess the aggressiveness and intellect, they're all very smart animals. I think that's something that can relate to MC students, and they're also very international, I guess, so kind of like the school spirit here at MC. I think everything that I initially wanted to get in there, all the fierceness, the intelligence, the speed, it all got in there, so I'm pretty happy with that. So this design was when I was getting pretty close to the end, the final process. We wanted to have the Raptor going down towards its prey like ready to grab it, pick it up. The tail was pointing down like it's not usual, but it kind of gave it a more fierce, unique look, and that sort of led to this, which was the final sketch, I guess, which it embodies like all the same qualities, and it's just a little bit more refined. It's an honor, really. I hope I can come back in like 10 years and still see it around, and even after that. So.
And once again, congratulations to Felipe Collazo for coming up with a great design. I can tell you, everybody I've talked to loves the new mascot and logo. It's really an exciting new look. And stick with us, we'll be right back with some important final thoughts after a brief break.
Some birds of prey further out west, when they usually their prey item would be lizards, and they will actually impale the head of the lizard onto something sharp, and in modern times that would be barbed wire. And if you're walking along barbed wire, you might see a decaying head of some lizard that had been impaled by that bird of prey in order to consume it.
Can I do a raptor noise? I would fail. No. I don't know.
That's what the sound would be like. It's a very intimidating sound. Seriously.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's all I got.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, flexible scheduling, over 130 programs of study, award-winning faculty, nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Register today.
Welcome back to the Raptor Report. And before we say goodbye, along with the new mascot and athletics logo here at MC, we also have a bunch of new ways to stay up to date on MC sports. The first is the brand new athletics website. At the new and improved montgomerycollege.edu/Raptors, you'll find the rosters for all MC teams, team and individual photos, video highlights, game schedules and results, contact information for each coach, and much more. And another great way to stay on top of what's happening with the Raptors is the new MC Raptors Facebook page at facebook.com/theraptorsmc. Like the Raptors on their new Facebook page to get updates on everything that's happening. And follow MC Athletics on Twitter at twitter.com/MC_Raptors. It's an instantaneous way to keep in touch with MC Sports. Last but not least, check out the new MC Raptors YouTube channel at youtube.com/theraptorsmc. There you'll find this show and past episodes of the Raptor Report, plus past games we've done on MCTV, game highlights packages, and much more. So there's lots of new and exciting ways to stay up to date with sports at MC. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Raptor Report, but hoop season is underway, so join us next time for highlights from both MC basketball teams. Thanks so much for watching the Raptor Report.